All right, YouTube family, we got news and update on the YSL situation. Now, a man accused of robbing a Atlanta situation, a couple that just got married. This guy who the newspaper is saying allegedly is part of YSL. And first of all, my heart goes out to the families of both parties, not only to the victims but or the suspect at hand too, to everybody before we even read this. But before I get started in breaking this case down, I want to show you guys the man in question. Shout out to my mixtape. Also, because of that, I started doing some research and getting newspaper clippings to read it up on y'all for y'all. Basically, the gang member was found guilty on all counts and he was given 4 consecutive life sentences. That's right. Now, before I keep reading this, let's look at the video together and we'll get back to it.
With the judge to give his killers a maximum punishment this afternoon. The judge did just that, sentencing the defendant to 4 life sentences. Channel 2's Tom Jones live in downtown Atlanta, and that's where a jury voted to convict on all 18 counts, Tom.
And Karen, that jury here returned that verdict in about 4 hours. Christian Broder's parents, his siblings, and even a friend who was with him that night told the court how his murder has affected them.
As far as I know, there was never a person who disliked or didn't respect him.
Friends and family of 34-year-old Christian Broder.
Christian was our world.
Gave impact statements where they shared who he was before he was murdered by defendant 22-year-old Jayden Myrick. Broder's father asked the judge to show no mercy in sentencing Myrick.
We ask that you impose a maximum sentence on these defendants.
The family made that plea after a jury voted to convict Myrick on all 18 counts he faced, including murder, aggravated assault, and armed robbery. The jury agreed that Myrick, then 17, rode with a group of teens to the Capital City Country Club in northeast Atlanta, where Myrick got out and robbed Broder and his brother and friends as they left a wedding and were waiting on an Uber in 2018. Myrick then shot Broder.
We will live with this pain for the rest of our lives.
Myrick, an admitted gang member, said he wasn't there that night, but 2 of his co-defendants testified he was the shooter. The judge sentenced him to life without parole plus 3 life sentences. Broder's siblings held his ashes as they shared their pain.
Simply put, this never should have happened. Such a stupid, senseless act of violence.
And Broder's father said he wanted his son to be remembered for the community, rising up and saying we won't tolerate.
Now, what you guys just heard, basically, the gentleman, you know what I'm saying? Let me say his name properly, Jayden Myrick. As he got snitched on by his co-defendants, and what they're saying is he's a self-admitted gang member, but get this, they're saying that he's allegedly YSL. I don't know that. I'm only reporting what the news has been saying. He's a YSL member, and they're gonna try to make it and paint the picture real bad, but it goes deeper. They're saying like it basically was the wedding going on, and when the dude was waiting for his Uber situation, and that's when Mr. Myrick and the gang strode through, and things went bad. Now, while I'm reading the newspaper, what happened was Christian Broder, after he got robbed, and this is Jayden when he was at a construction program. You can see him working over here as a teenager before he got in that situation. But Christian, this is Christian right here. Like when he got robbed, allegedly by, I don't want to say allegedly or not allegedly, but he was found guilty of it and snitched on. So we're going to go by what the court says. So they say he is guilty of it. So we're going to say when, Jayden and the crew allegedly robbed this man, or did rob him, whichever, or I'm going to just take allegedly out of it, y'all. His folks got to fight for that situation, and I hope they do. And it can never be over. Don't lose hope. So I don't want to keep saying allegedly when they just found this man guilty. And what happened is Christian got robbed and they took his license as well. Everything else he didn't really care about, according to the newspaper. He just wanted his license. And when he went, to the crew, Jayden, it blinked him down. And that's what's being reported, and that's what's being said. Now, this situation went left for the young man. They're saying he was on a road where he wasn't really thinking at the time. Now the counts include felony murder, armed robbery, aggravated battery, aggravated assault, and criminal gang activity. In count 2, malice murder, the judge said we the jury find the defendant guilty. The judge said from the bench. Myrick heard those words over and over. Now they said count 11, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Kristen Broder, we the jury found the defendant guilty. The judge said the jury found Myrick, then 17, was the gunman who robbed 34-year-old Kristen Broder, his brothers and friends, as they left a wedding at the Capital City Country Club in Northeast Atlanta in 2018. They were waiting on an Uber when Myrick, an admitted gang member, murdered Broder. Broder's sister told the courts how his death has affected her family. We're going to read that a little bit, but I want to play another video of this situation for y'all, if y'all don't mind. Hang on right quick. Now, this is already, you know, like, you thinking how sad it could get for everybody involved until you're looking at the situation, and it's like, you know, youths are just lost out here today, and folks not getting good guidance, in my opinion, you know, my personal opinion. And I don't want to think deep because I don't know the young brother and I don't know Christian, but let me play the audio.
And killing a Washington, D.C. chef and new father after a wedding at the Capital City Club in Brookhaven. The family of the victim, Kristen Broder, was in the courtroom during the bond hearing for 18-year-old Jayden Myrick. Broder's father pled with the judge not to grant Myrick bond.
Myrick violated his probation under overwhelming evidence and was released to the public by Judge Doris Downs. And I just cannot understand why he would be allowed bond and to be released to the public.
This case he is referring to dates back to last year, when another judge granted Myrick probation for an armed robbery that he committed in 2015 when he was 14 years of age. The Fulton County District Attorney told us that Myrick was violating his probation right up until Broder's murder, and the DA tried to get Myrick's probation revoked weeks before he was arrested. A second suspect is also facing charges in connection with Broder's death. Investigators allege 19-year-old Taurus Fleetwood was driving the getaway car in Brookhaven that night.
So you can see they're trying to take this situation back, way back, and I don't know how this is gonna play out. How is it gonna affect, you know, YSL as a whole, when this is really separate from that? But when you're part of a alleged gang and you're actually admitting to that, you know, these folks, they're gonna tie it into everything. You gotta know that beforehand. I'm just being honest with you. Like, we already know how this might play out. I'm just looking at the story of this, and it sounds like something went bad. Maybe he got nervous when Kristen Broder, you know, was walking back towards him after the robbery. Maybe he thought, you know, dude had a gun. I don't know, man. I'm not in that situation of neither one of the individuals. You feel me? I can't say what Kristen should have did or, you know, not do. We're not in these people's shoes. Now, the restaurant manager and the father of a newborn, and let me put these pictures up one more time right quick. Hang on. I just want to put these pics up as I'm reading the story so we could get it. Now, this in a restaurant manager and the father of a newborn lived and worked in Washington, D.C. and was in Georgia for the wedding. He was waiting for a reed share car with his family outside of the Capital City Country Club when Myrick and 3 other men pulled up and robbed him. Prosecutors said Broder tried to reason with the group when Myrick shot him in the stomach. Court records alleged the father and husband died 2 weeks later. Man, that got to be grueling and painful, because if you go out 2 weeks later, you know, he sounded like he was a fighter mentally, but he's from Washington, D.C. That's Christian. Now, they're saying Myrick was 17 years old at the time of the robbery. He faces a minimum of life sentencing. Now, this is an old clip I was reading. He already got the long-term sentence, that 4 consecutive life sentences too at that. You know what I mean? Now, to be a wedding guest at a situation and you get surprised like that, I think Christian probably was somebody who he's comfortable with certain neighborhoods where in his mind he probably thought, hey man, if I'm just asking only for my license back, they should understand it enough. You feel me? It don't sound like he really wanted problems himself, just like everybody. It sounded like both sides just wanted to complete, like they wanted, Christian and them wanted, folks in them to finish what they're doing, and them dudes wanted to do what they do. I don't condone any of that too, by the way. I'm just trying to read in my mind what probably happened, but it's just my opinion. But none says the less, man. You got the family said, I'm praying for the brother family and friends as they grieve for the loss of, the husband and father that he was. It's it's uncomfortable. They're riding. It's a lot of feelings they're feeling right now. And they said, as the defendant testimony illustrated, when young people are recruited into gangs, the violent crimes they commit inflict tragedy on their victims and on themselves when they end up in prison, said Fulton County District Attorney Fannie Willis. Now, a lot of people was like waiting to hear from, Mr. Myrick, so I'm gonna be fair and let y'all hear from his side. Now, Myrick's side, Myrick's prior bad acts were allowed as part of the case. He told the court he was groomed and then recruited by an adult gang member when he was 9 years old. When he was 14 years old, he was arrested for holding up a woman on the south side of Atlanta. They both agreed to a negotiated plea and was sentenced to 15 years with seven to serve in the adult system. However, Myrick's attorney made a request to get out of detention with time served. The judge agreed and ordered him probation administered by private counseling program. Man, it sounded like he had a good lawyer too. You know what I mean? Great lawyer. But it says the Fox team tracked down Myrick, spent his time under supervision of a nonprofit diversion program called Visions Unlimited Videos. That's the picture I put up of Myrick. Let me find it right quick. When he was in that facility. Hang on right quick, y'all. I'm looking for it. I just want to put that up just to be transparent through the whole thing. Okay, this ain't it. But yeah, I'm looking for the picture of the program he was in. They're claiming that program, I guess, is a program. There we go. It's a program, I guess, to better the kids and the youth, to make them in a better situation. Now they're saying this: in May, Myrick was listed among the 28 defendants in a 88-page indictment that, basically that indictment that claims he's part of the Young Slime Life enterprise. That indictment alleges Jeffrey Lamar Williams, who goes by the stage name Young Thug, is one of the leaders of the gang. It stated that, among other individuals charges, each of the 28 members conspired to associate with others for the common purposes of illegally obtaining money and property through a pattern of racketeering activity, and conducting and participating in an enterprise through a pattern of racketeering activities. So this right here is already wild, man. In addition to the RICO, Myrick was indicted on charges of attempted murder, possession of a weapon by incarcerated individuals. I mean, as you can pretty much see, man, they're gonna tie it into the RICO as well, as they already did. I didn't even know that. Man, look, man, prayers for everybody's family involved in here, man. I'm your guy, DJ Bless One. Thank you for watching another episode of I Smoke Hip Hop Live, man. Love your family, love your kids, and definitely, man, stay blessed, man. Keep the Most High prayed up with you.